fellow babies, Rohan and I would like to welcome you back to this week's version of the Pach-Attack. Okay, we have a question from Twitter from @YellowTank871. Any thoughts on iPhone 5 and what this may mean for gaming? Racing demos shown at event looked promising. You know, I think iPhone 5 is really no different than any smartphone. I think smartphones and tablets are going to get more and more powerful. So the iPhone 5 is just demonstrating that the microprocessors, the graphics cards in these portable devices are getting to be console quality. I think the better question is, are you going to see any developers actually develop for that platform? And I don't think anybody's going to spend 20 million bucks making a game for an iPhone 5. I think you're going to continue to see games that cost, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 bucks. You'll see hundreds of those. Games that cost maybe $1 million bucks, you know, things like Shadow Complex. You'll probably start to see dozens of those, but you're not going to see, you know, any games that cost 20 to 40 million. So I don't think they're going to compete with the console per se for the hardcore gamer. What I do think you're going to see is as the tablets get more powerful, and I'm thinking Surface, and probably not Microsoft Surface 1, but probably Surface 3 or 4. As tablets start to replicate what a PC can do, there's no reason why you can't put a PC game onto a tablet. If the Surface can run Office, it can run a PC game. So I think that you're going to probably see it from that end first. I don't think you're going to see it migrate down to cell phones for at least 5 or 6 years. And again, you don't really want to play Call of Duty on a cell phone. There's plenty of really compelling cell phone game, mobile game experiences, and I think they're going to continue to whittle away at the more casual audience. So if you draw a continuum, if you say the hardest core gamers over here, the most casual gamer over here, you know, I think that as phones get smarter and smarter, they're going to pick up closer and closer to hardcore, but I don't think it's going to ever take half of the gaming audience away. I think what's going to do is expand the casual side. You're going to get people who are very happy playing games like Brain Training on a cell phone. You can certainly do things like that today. And I think that's going to continue to whittle away at the Wii audience and the handheld, the DS, 3DS, Vita audience. So ultimately, I think the handheld market shrinks dramatically. I think the casual portion of Nintendo's console addressable market shrinks dramatically in favor of tablets, especially, and cell phones to some extent. I think the hardcore console game, the Microsoft and Sony hardcore fans are going to continue to support those devices. And I think Microsoft and Sony have a smaller percentage of their market, their addressable market, that is casual primarily. Probably something in the 30 to 50% range. I think way more than 50% of the addressable market for Nintendo products is casual. So I think Nintendo loses the most, Microsoft and Sony much less so. Again, let's not discount Apple. They're going to go after it, but Microsoft's fighting back with the Surface tablet. Hello, Mr. Pachter. Oh, our next question comes from Nicholas. Hello, Mr. Pachter. Love the show. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Nintendo scheduling their Wii U launch details event a day after the iPhone 5 reveal. Do you think it was an unintentional scheduling mishap or a conscious move to go head-to-head with Apple to try to steal some of their thunder? Do you think it was the right move, or does it even matter? All right, I think it's neither unintentional or a conscious move to go head-to-head with Apple to steal some of their thunder. I think it kind of reflects that Nintendo just doesn't care. They don't consider Apple a competitor. They don't think about about Apple as stealing anything away from their market. I think that they think that the Wii U stands alone and is a solid console, and it probably should. Unfortunately, the press didn't seem to agree. You saw tons of iPhone 5 coverage and very little Nintendo Wii U coverage. You know, I saw an article, I can't remember the outlet, but somebody wrote an article pointing out that the Wii launch was on the front page of USA Today, and the Wii U wasn't even mentioned in USA Today at all. Not to say that USA Today is the great gaming publication, it's the mainstream news publication. It is kind of the mass market newspaper, and if they didn't even mention the Wii U, that meant that their Wii U launch event went unnoticed by the masses. And again, I think a big chunk of Nintendo's addressable market are the mass market, so I think they made a mistake. I think that it was a horrible move. And again, I don't think it was unintentional. I know that the Nintendo of America guys knew all about the iPhone 5 press conference, and they didn't say anything or do anything to stop it, because I think the guys in Japan decided, who cares about Apple, we're gonna do what we want. So bad move, it matters. Nobody is talking about the Wii U in the mainstream press. I think that's a real problem. And I think that that kind of reflects that there won't be a lot of mass market support for the Wii U post-launch, or at least not the same level as there was for the Wii. Now, I'll be wrong if the launch lineup is phenomenal and if everybody's talking about the games the week after the device launches and the mainstream press picks up on it. We'll see, then it won't matter, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, our next question from Twitter, from @TheRealSneakers. What do you think of Bayonetta 2 being on the Wii U and the outspoken reaction from the fans? Look, anytime you get a super quality franchise on any console, you gotta love it. I mean, I think it's great for fans that they're getting a really super high quality experience on the Wii U. I don't think that Bayonetta 2 is, you know, a 10 million unit seller, but it's gonna sell an incremental million Wii U's. There are people who just love the franchise. They're gonna pay up for the Wii U because they want to play that game. So big props to Nintendo for landing that franchise. I think the problem is you need a lot of those to sell, you know, 50 million consoles, and I really have to see if Nintendo's going to keep it up. But I personally am going to buy a Wii U just to play Bayonetta 2. I like Nintendo first-party content, but I love Bayonetta. It was a great game, and I think 2 is going to be a great game. So props to Nintendo. I think it's really a feather in their cap that they got an exclusive like that. Thanks again for joining us on this week's edition of Pach-Attack. If you have questions for me that you'd like to hear answered on the show, please direct them to the link below. If you'd like to submit a question via Twitter, please direct them to me @Michael Pachter on Twitter, and copy @RohanLikesPants. Rohan picks all the questions, and he really likes pants. He just bought his first pair of shorts, so maybe one of you enterprising people can go suck up the Twitter handle @RohanLikesShorts and see if you can sell it to Rohan for some money. So I apologize for the 2-minute Pach-Attack that you had to do because you didn't plan correctly. You should always have a spare.
That was my spare.
You suck. 2 minutes? You suck. Okay, I didn't watch it.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.